I'd like to welcome Lindy Spires. Lindy, good evening and welcome to News in Focus on Radio Alansar.
Good evening, and thank you very much for having me. I'm really looking forward to this discussion.
Okay, we understand that you are hailing from the Western Cape and you're on a tour of the different provinces, and KwaZulu-Natal is the last, but the most important province that you are really meeting with, primarily because of the emergence of MK from nowhere, taking 40% of the votes in this particular region. So you done your final visit here with your leader Floyd Shivambu, because you believe this is a very important province, the province where a lot of our presidents have come from, and a lot of our political leaders have come from this province.
Yes, absolutely. Mayabuye consultation process has embarked on a countrywide consultation with the various organizations, political heads, volunteers, youth, as well as traditional leaders and religious leaders. Yes, MK Party did take 40% of the voters here in KZN, and this is a very important party for Mayabuye consultation process, because what we are set out to do is there is a very big need for the work of Mayabuye. We know that what we have to offer is totally different, and that what we stand for is so important. Communities right now have a problem with very much a lot that is happening in politics. Shortly, we as Mayabuya is really looking forward for the next 6 days. We will be in different parts of KZN. Thank you.
Now, before I, give our listeners an indication on who you are and where this party has emerged from, our informal discussion this evening was indicative of the fact that there are a lot of political parties representing communities in South Africa, and we noted that in the last provincial and national elections, some parties got many seats, other parties got few seats, some parties lost their deposit because they got no seats, but they contested the elections and people voted accordingly. There were a lot of indications that there was voter rigging and the like, but ultimately those that emerged are in national or provincial government. And like we interviewed Martin, who is part of the province of National Unity, and his counterparts are in the government of National Unity representing the Democratic Alliance. The parties that were linked up there is the ANC and other parties, and in the province there's 4 parties. Now, your leader, Floyd Shivambu, who was part of the formation of the Mayabuye Consultative Forum, was a member of the African National Congress. He was an MP there. He then joined the Economic Freedom Fighters because they were not happy with certain issues in the ANC. And then having been the Secretary General, correct me if I'm wrong, of the Economic Freedom Fighters, after many, many years, there were some challenges with the leadership. And he then joined MK, who became a big opposition on the bloc. Having joined MK, he was a Secretary General for not more than a year, if I presume so. And he realized that this is not the party that I should be with because of certain challenges there. And then that's a party run by Jacob Zuma together with ex-EFF ANC colleagues. And when he hopped out as the Secretary General, it then emerged that he needs to look at other options available. And this is where it's leading us to this Mayabuye Consultative Forum. Now, when a leader or a Secretary General of another party forms a party in consultation with colleagues of his in the political circle, he or she obviously want to ensure that the challenges we faced with the other parties, we're going to address it here. So from a civic perspective, and also from a perspective of being, involved with different NGOs, you, Lindy Spires, is the deputy organizer, and you obviously have an organizer of this particular forum, which is to be launched as a political party in due course. Now, the reason why we're interviewing here today is because We want our ratepayer associations, we want our NGOs to understand that political involvement is not only linked to existing political parties. There is room for new parties to come in the block, but you must get your act together when you form your party, because as I said, in the last provincial and national elections, a lot of new parties emerged, but they didn't get the threshold of votes to really get a seat. And that culminated in not much political or public support. So in terms of Mayabuya, you mentioned to me, Lindy, that you've been to the 9 provinces over the last couple of weeks. You are currently in KZN recruiting members for your executive, and you're recruiting people that have got exposure to government, local government, and the like, ultimately to become part of the municipal elections or to contest the municipal elections in 2026. Perhaps you just want to outline to our listeners in eThekwini and surrounds, Msunduzi and Kwadaguza and the municipalities that Radio Alansa reaches out to, is that why there's a need to form this Mayabuya Consultative Forum? And number 2, what inroads do you think this particular forum, being a ratepayer organization or a civic forum, now forming a party, will have, so that other civic organizations will know that we don't necessarily have to join the bigger parties? So, Lindy, I've given you a mouthful. You can discuss it and come from various angles, whatever you can do, first, second, third, fourth. I know you took some notes. Go for it. I know you've got some members here to chat, with you. And I've got Samuel he was involved with elections as well, to tell you why it is good what you're doing or why it is not good. So go for it, Lindy.
Thank you very much. One correction. I am the Deputy National Organizer.
Okay.
And yes, we have.
Okay, they just wrote it down, the Deputy Organizer.
Yes,
You're the
Deputy National Organizer.
Okay, good.
Yes, and you mentioned there's various parties that was formed over the years. In total, there was actually 650 parties formed.
Okay, so it's a large number.
Currently at the IEC, which is registered.
650.
Yes, 650. And yes, we did work through 9 provinces. And we have been recruiting people as per our consultation. We identified people that we saw that had potential for the type of leadership we were looking for in each province. And those leadership provincial structures is what we're busy concluding. So a lot of people have been identified. We are finalizing certain structures within the province, and well as additionals within provinces. And now those provinces are now bringing their regional structures for approval at the national level. So that is where we are busy with. So structure-wise, we have done very well. I can't believe it.
Now, the model of your structures, are you following a particular party's model, or this is a unique model for you all?
I think in a way, this is a combination of both. We're unique in the form that it will be the first time that all of our structures will include traditional leaders, will include religious leaders, will include youth, will include women, and will have a gender balance. That is most important. Gender balance 50-50 as far as we can. And that is unique, because that is what we set out to do from the beginning. So we're going through a process where we have these leadership with provinces having to come and bring their leaders and list, and we're literally going through them one by one to make sure that the geographical spread of this leadership is well placed within each province as well as in each region, which make this very unique in our form. When it comes to the issue of the structures, which I just said, it is unique. And you are saying, why do we need to form this forum? This was very important because all political parties, you call the ANC, the EFF as well as the MK party. We all believed in all of them at one stage, but they failed us as communities, they failed us as a population, they failed us as women, as youth, as traditional leaders and religious leaders. And what we have found is that they have become very self-absorbed within their own needs, and it was no longer for the needs of the people, but rather the needs of individuals or maybe a couple of people. So we know that this party as Mayabuya movement is needed because we have to look at that what we've lost. The hope that we have as communities is for Mayabuya to deliver on the hopes that we once had with the ANC and EFF as well as MK.
Now, in terms of the challenges that you'll have identified that the other parties have caused or not delivered, can you highlight some of the key challenges? For example, the ANC now, it's reported that corruption, maladministration, fraud, and the lack of vision is an area of concern. In terms of the EFF, your leader would have been with the EFF, and there's leadership struggles, and the fact that they are the opposition, they're not in a position to deliver. But if they're on a coalition like in the Tikweni, they're still not influencing service delivery. In terms of MK, it's driven by certain agenda. The leader of MK is the former president, who is facing a whole lot of charges. With him, he has a whole lot of sort of representatives that have been cited for issues in the ANC. So your leader was involved with these parties, and now there's a decision to organize himself with other leaders and role players in this so-called Mayabuya Consultative Forum. But what are the key challenges that these different parties, have not dealt with? And how do you think, the second question is that when he forms this party, when he registers this party, that you will get the support to make the difference?
The key challenge that we have with some of these parties, they lack collective leadership. A lot of the decisions within MK, within EFF, was formed by one or two individuals. And for us as Mayabuya, and what Floyd has identified is that collective leadership is one of the principles of Mayabuya consultation process as well as Afrika Mayibuye movement. And I think through having the collective leadership in the way that we're going to have our policies developed, when we have our consultations, when it comes to commissions and committees, that is going to be set up. The collective leadership structures and decisions is going to be the key that is going to eliminate the challenges that other parties used to have. And I think your second question was some of the challenges that was experienced by the former president in MK, Jacob Zuma, that what he has done. I think that is also the same answer that I would give, that with former President Jacob Zuma and the challenges that posed through leadership is the reason why Floyd Shivambu have left and forming a new party so that things can be done in a different way. One of the things that he have identified, one of the challenges he identified was that this party was run like a stokvel, like a family business. And that is what has created the problem mostly within MK party. EFF leadership, more or less the same thing. Floyd has mentioned it over and over again to say that we cannot be a cult, and there was a cult type of a leadership that was displayed within the EFF, and that is what caused us to have a collective leadership within Mayabuya, and this is a process that we're currently embarking on.
Now, your interaction with potential members in the various provinces, what has been the reaction? Because you've been through many provinces and KZN is the last province. What is the reaction? Do you have an enthusiastic response, and do you believe that you're getting overwhelming support in the different provinces?
Absolutely overwhelming support. People are very enthusiastic. People saying, can't you finish this consultation? We are finished with consultation so that we can just have this party. Register this party. Yes, we want to have a political party. We know this can be done. We have faith in you. We have confidence in you. And this is coming from civic organizations. It's coming from individuals, from communities, from traditional leaders, which include kings and chiefs, and as well as religious leaders. In Cape Town, we had a very awesome attendance. One of the churches of plus minus 2 to 3 million people have given us a very warm welcome, and the enthusiasm that was displayed in the church for Mayabuya to become a political party is what is giving us very much confidence.
Now, the leadership that you have in your party, do they have the credentials to influence, like in Western Cape and other areas, people to support this particular initiative or this forum that is to be formed?
The leadership qualities and credibility of this leadership is very high. They are seasoned politicians. Some of them have started with Floyd in the ANC Youth League. They've been in EFF, they in MK, and they have occupied various positions within the top 5, within the top 10 positions.
In the various provinces.
In various provinces, and that is what is so encouraging to us, that we have seasoned politicians mixed with newcomers like myself from a civic organization. I've never been at this level of politics. I'm learning a lot from these seasoned politicians, and I'm really looking forward to this. And the same for pastors and traditional leaders that is coming in. We're all learning from seasoned politicians, and that is what is strengthening these structures that is currently being
So
formed.
you say the manifesto of this particular forum is an all-inclusive manifesto that's not looking at any race, any kind of community, etc.
Our manifestos is going to be based on provincial needs of each of the communities, because some of the manifesto might not be applicable in the Eastern Cape as it is for the Western Cape, or even for Gauteng. There are different needs in each one of the provinces. So very much a provincial. We're going to have a national manifesto, but then we're going to have specific provincial manifestos as well.
So certainly there is a need for, in addition to the 650, that this forum going to play an important role, unlike the other smaller parties that came with a manifesto and had limited support and did not make the cut in the last elections.
I would say if those smaller political parties that is currently still registered, come join Mayabuya, because we have space for you. And that what we will be able to do is it's going to strengthen us. So a lot of political parties has already given their support in Western Cape, and they will be joining with us, and we're going to make certain announcements very soon. And we are very happy, and some of them has already been incorporated within our structures. So we are very happy about that.
So you're telling the smaller parties, come with your support, join us, and maybe you will get more success in that way. Because I have one of the members of a smaller party present here in the studio,
Yes.
and I want to hear his reaction.
I'm saying smaller parties, please come and join with Mayabuya. There's a lot that is to be offered.
You, as a new party in the bloc, has emerged and says we're going to have to deal with these challenges, but you may become the minority going forward, as Sam mentioned, because your leader has got certain issues, and you're going to have to play a role. So how do you foresee your party in particular, when it's formed, dealing with these huge challenges? Or are you just going to make noises and nothing's going to be done? What is your mission and vision in terms of dealing with the key issues? He's just highlighted that is the bottom line. If your finances are not managed appropriately, you're not going to have much impact on sort of service delivery in South Africa.
Yes.
Have you foresaw that, or do you regard that as one of the serious challenges going forward? And
Most
do you think you can
serious.
make a difference?
Most serious. The issue of corruption is an issue that I think systematically nobody has dealt with globally. Maybe nobody wants to deal with it globally. And this is one of the work of the foundations of Krotoa SA Foundation. When we looked at what is corruption, where it's coming from, and because the foundation's work is very much in research, when we look deeper into the issue of corruption, firstly, our organization and I vouch that we want to be registered and have accreditation at specific organs within the United Nations. And one of those organs were the one that is concerning working with corruption, crime, and drugs, which is based in Geneva, Switzerland. When we came to do our research, we found that there is plus minus more than 5,000 NGOs and civic organizations registered at the United Nations globally, but only 123, if I'm correct, of very old organizations, NGOs that was formed 1945 when the United Nations was formed. Only a few 123 is actually accredited to work within the issues at the United Nations that works on the issues of corruption. What we then come to finalize on our findings is that corruption has been institutionalized at a global level, and there is no organization outside of the 123 very old organizations, very colonial-based organizations, that is working within the issues of corruption in a systematic way. Unless we as organizations, civic organizations, become part of the global processes to attack the issue of corruption, nothing is going to be happening, because currently corruption has been used as a tool to achieve certain objectives of certain individuals, certain countries, and certain organizations. So we as Mayabuya has identified within our consultation throughout 9 provinces that we need system change. And unless we look at what caused the system to be in this manner, we're just going to scrape at the top of what is happening. Corruption and where our money is currently has been used as tools within each government department to achieve certain objectives. We have to go to the bottom of that. And that is what Mayabuya is doing. Mayabuya is looking at system changes in everything that is the root cause of poverty within South Africa currently. And that is where we're going to find it. When we look at the issue of foreign nationals, more than 20% that you are saying that they're paying no taxes, for example, we also going to look at system there. Because we're looking at 20% of black foreigners, but we don't see the hundreds of thousands of foreigners that is coming into our country that are not black. And we've not looked properly at the issue of foreigners that is illegal in our country. So system changes is what we're looking at as Mayabuya. Nobody is doing that. And we will get to the root cause of some of these issues. When it comes to the issue of minority, yes, I am a minority. I am a so-called colored under the current laws of South Africa. But also, we as a colored community, because I don't identify as a colored anymore. I'm a Ham Kuna person. And we as a previously called colored community have been voting for the DA forever. We kept the DA in power.
In the Western Cape?
In the Western Cape, everywhere in South Africa. Without the vote of the colored people, there would have been no DA anywhere.
So you say the Western Cape will start changing now?
If the Western Cape needs to change, it means that the colored vote needs to be taken away from the DA in order for us.
So you think you're going to take the colored vote away?
The DA is taking our vote, then turn back to us to say that we as colored people in the Western Cape or anywhere else are not capable to become leaders within political parties. And because we don't become leaders in political parties because we are uneducated, we don't have the necessary skills, but it's the very same DA that is oppressing us.
So you're saying Mayabuya is going to change their approach to the coloreds?
Mayabuya is going to change that. We say, let us as minority parties, as well as minority race groups, let us join in with Mayabuya. If there is any changes that is needed, if there's not proper representation, let us come and talk about it. But we can deal with it.
Now you have competition from the Patriotic Alliance because the leader there says he's getting the colored vote, he's going to increase.
Absolutely.
You're going to challenge him. You reckon
Absolutely.
local government, you're going to change the terrain in the Western Cape.
Absolutely. We're saying, Gayton McKenzie, my father phoned me and say, Lindy, asseblief my kind, kan jy asseblief tog nie net daar vir Gayton McKenzie gaan join nie. Join Gayton McKenzie. Hy's 'n colored soos ons. En ek sê, Papa, just give me a chance. Right now, Gayton McKenzie is looking at business as usual for himself, just like the ANC has done, the EFF has done, and the MK has done. Gayton McKenzie has not turned his words. He said, I'm here for business. Gayton McKenzie is not here for the colored community.
Portfolio and enjoy himself.
He said he wants to have any position and he needs to be in power because he needs to make money. Right now, the colored community is not his constituency. That is that his constituency that he's working for is whoever's going to give him power and money.
So you reckon finally, we're running out of time now, and I just want to conclude with Sam and Abdul, is that you're going to surprise the voters come municipal elections.
Absolutely, we're going to surprise. I said, let us join
MK,
with Mayabuya.
You're gonna shock. So you're telling the smaller parties, don't waste your time going.
Smaller parties, please come join us because we are going to take this vote.